you know, if you want to test these batteries, don't do that. That's not good. Don't put your tongue across it. It's not a good idea. Used to do it as a kid, but not a good idea. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me on this wonderful, nice, cool, sunshiny morning here. We have a GMC Acadia with a locked door. The reason this thing has come in is for something a little bit odd. She states that her radio quit working and her turn signal doesn't make a noise when the turn signals go. However, the turn signals work. So yeah, I've not had this happen before. So come along and let's see if we can get this thing figured out. Contact. Okay, so got the engine started. It's got 233,885 miles on the odometer. Whoa, what? Are you serious? Oh, it got pushed out. Okay. Scared me there for a little bit. I thought Snap-on was gonna get their scanner back. All right. Now we're back in business. While that thing's hooking up, I'm going to show you what it does. So we've got a readout on the radio. We can turn the volume completely up. There's nothing. No volume. Okay, then if we turn the turn signal on, there's no sound in the turn signals. So I don't know, does the turn signal noise come through the speakers, because it's controlled by the turn signal is controlled by the BCM, I believe. So essentially it probably doesn't have a noise, so I'm sure that they put that noise in there to come through the speakers. So I wonder if we have possibly a faulty speaker, and that may be the problem for the whole thing. But let's just do a code scan and let's see if there's anything that would guide us to the right direction. Okay, let's just see here. There's nothing in the radio. Okay, no codes that are gonna guide us in the direction we need to go, so that tells me that none of the modules are seeing anything that is throwing a fault. We may honestly have a bad radio, I don't know, but let's just see what we get. Let's pull this thing in. I don't think there's any reason to take it on a test drive, because the only concern she had was this noise. So let's just get this thing inside and we'll get you know, this makes me so angry. Look at that. That scan tool locks up all the time, and I have had several different Snap-on scan tools that do that, and in my opinion, for the price we pay for those things, they shouldn't have that kind of issue. Let's open our door. Hey, it finally decided to come back after several minutes. Incoming call. All right, so what I suspect is going on with this car is possibly the amplifier down here or the speakers. Now, I would find it kind of hard to believe that all 4 speakers went bad at once, but what could have happened is the speakers could have been going out, you know, one by one, and she just didn't notice or didn't think about it. I would have thought she would have thought about it, but maybe not. But what we want to do is we want to test a few things. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get this connector unplugged from the amplifier, which is the X3 connector. We're going to come into here on pin number 8. We want to have battery voltage at that pin. This is going to be our subwoofer, or the signal. Then on 11, we want to have less than 1 volt, so that that's the mute signal. So we want to make sure it's not muting it for some reason. If that's okay, we're going to test out all of our speakers, and if that tests out okay, we're going to know that we've got a bad amplifier. So let's get started on that. That's going to be up in here. That does look like a fairly new amplifier, but I'm going to try to get that thing moved down. Not 100% sure how that thing comes out of there. I'm going to try to get it out of there, and we'll get you guys back when I get it figured out how to get it out of there or get it unplugged. I think the connectors are possibly on the top side. I'm not sure, but let me do a little investigating. I've already pulled this kick panel off that's up in here. It takes these 3 push pins and then undo that light, and that thing will come down, and then we can get to that. So what we need is need to get that amplifier down to where we can start testing some circuits. All right, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I absolutely hate under the dash electrical repair work. This was a pain to get out of there, and I don't even really know how I'm going to get back up in there, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this is the amplifier that we wanted out of there. I really wish I could test the circuit with a low. I guess I could test it with a light bulb, but we're gonna go ahead and just test it like this for now, because it's such a pain and everything. I went ahead and plugged this in, as you can see, to pin number 8 on X3. That's going to be that one with the black in the middle, white on the outside, 16-pin connector. So we're on pin 8. Now let's see. I think we're going to need to turn the key on for battery power. Let's get ourselves a ground here. This should be a good ground. Okay, and we do have battery power. Okay, so now the other thing we wanted to check on this one was, did we have less than, I believe, 1 volt on 11? So 11 will be 9, 10, and 11. So the third one over. So I'm gonna try and get you guys in here to where you can see me here, but I don't know. I can barely see, so I'm gonna get this in there and then I'll be back. All right, so as you can see, now I've got it plugged into 11. Okay, so now key on. It's still on. Let's see if we've got less than 1 volt. That's 0.078. Okay, so now we know that it's not muted. The radio's not telling it to be muted. Now, what we need to test is moving on to, is it X2? Not sure here. Right speaker output. And that's going to be pin 1 and 2 in X2, which is going to be this other 16-pin connector. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to use a little 9-volt battery here, and we're just going to apply a little voltage to those, positive and negative, and we should hear something out of the speakers. If we don't, we know we have bad speakers. If we hear a little, it should be just a little momentary noise coming out of the speaker. So, and if we don't hear that, then we know that we have bad speakers. Now, like I said, I find it hard to imagine that we have 4 bad speakers, but it is a possibility. So I'm gonna get this set up, and then I'll get you guys back whenever I get this set up. All right, so the way I've got this set up is I've got it plugged in, and I'll show you guys. I've actually got it plugged in up there with my leads, and I've got the red as positive and the black as negative, and I've hooked it up to my meter leads so I can just hit it like that. So let's see where this thing's at. So, you know, if you want to test these batteries, don't do that. That's not good. Don't put your tongue across it. It's not a good idea. Used to do it as a kid, but not a good idea. Okay, so what we want to do is hold power. See? Yep. So that works. That speaker works. We already know that we have a bad amplifier at this point. So, because we have one speaker that works, it should at least put out. So, yeah, we have a bad amp. Now, I'm going to go through and just verify that all the speakers do work. And, yeah, I believe there's actually more than 4. There's the right rear. We tested the right front. So there's left rear mid-range, front center speaker, right rear. But we can go through and test them all. Left rear. I don't know. I probably won't test any more of them because I know that at least one works and we should be hearing something. But this thing, she's gonna need to replace it. So she said if there's much of any cost she doesn't want to go ahead and fix it, she can do without. So I'm not going to waste any more time. We know that that's what's wrong. Let me see what she wants to do. I'll get back to you. All right, so we've got the okay to actually put a new amplifier in here. It is going to be a used one because a new one's like $400 and some, but we're going to go with a used one, and fingers crossed that it'll work. But there's free returns, so if it doesn't work, we'll send it back. But yeah, I'll bring you guys back whenever that comes in. It'll be a couple days for me, but just a couple of seconds for you guys. Okay, you're gonna have to excuse the noises. We've got the heat running. It's a little chilly in here today, but where am I going? We have got our new to me, to us, Bose amplifier. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to plug this thing in before we go through the hassle of installing it. Plug it in and see if it works. So let's get this thing up in here. This is going to be a royal pain in the rear end, but I'm going to try and get you guys as much view there as I can. Hang on just a minute. Let me get something different here. Okay, I hope you guys can see there a little better, but let's see if we can get this thing plugged in up here. See if we can see if we can get up in there. Okay, unplug that. So we gotta have access, and then, oh, this is a pain. Why? Come on. So at this point, I lost my audio because I bought a cheap set of microphones off of Amazon. I know, dumb decision. I know that now, but really wasn't a lot going on except a lot of struggling and me scratching my hands and trying to get this thing installed. So I will probably speed it up here shortly and entertain you with some music. Man, this was a real pisser. Getting that thing up in there just to plug it in and see if it works. And I don't have it bolted down yet, but I just want to see if it works. So, how about we get this thing key turned on. Right here we have radio and we have turn signal sounds. So just know that they no longer have the blinker, the actual blinker. If you're from the olden days, you know what I'm talking about. But they make the sound through the speakers. So all right, well, we're gonna get this thing bolted up and put back together. This thing's ready to go back. As you can see, we got everything put back together. Everything's buttoned up. The turn signal makes noises. We can hear. The radio makes noises. We're ready to send this one back to the customer. So, as always, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. If this video was helpful to you, let me know that in the comments section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing to the channel doesn't cost you guys anything, and it sure helps me out a bunch. I want you guys and gals to have yourselves a great day. And we'll talk to you later.